Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. This past week was Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays. If you have been listening to my podcast, you know that I'm a huge fan of gratitude. And giving thanks is just that, expressing our gratitude. Today, I was inspired by Thanksgiving, and I want to talk about gratitude and why we need to be grateful. Let's talk about what are the benefits of gratitude and how you can get started with a gratitude practice today. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. One thing is for sure, 2020 continues to be a really challenging year. It's a year that has for sure put us to a test with all the things that we were not expecting, all the challenges that have come our way, starting with the pandemic, the social unrest, the political environment, everything. And when we think that nothing could go worse, something else happened. We had hurricanes, we had fires, we had all these things that happened this year that, as I said, had really put us to a test and showed us that life can be challenging. But even in the middle of the most challenging times in our lives, we can still find gratitude. I have to admit that practicing gratitude on a daily basis for the last 37 weeks of this pandemic. I started practicing gratitude long before, but during the last 37 weeks of this pandemic has kept me sane, has allowed me to see the glass half full, to see the blessings in my life that are happening every single day, even though yes, the year has been challenging and there's been things that have put me to a test. There's also been many positive things that have happened as a result of those challenging moments. And when we feel that things cannot get worse, just look around you. I'm sure that there's someone around you that is in a much worse situation that you are. And when you look at the less fortunate, you can find gratitude in what you have. So today, in this episode, honoring Thanksgiving, which is, as I said, one of my favorite holidays in the year, I want to spend some time talking about the benefits of gratitude and ways that you can start incorporating gratitude in your life so you can start harnessing some of those benefits. In positive psychology research, gratitude has strongly and consistently been associated with greater happiness. Also, there's studies that confirm that gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, to release good experiences, to improve their health, to deal better with adversity, and to build stronger relationships. Let's talk about some of the biggest benefits of gratitude. The first one, and probably encompassing of everything that we're going to be talking about today, is that gratitude makes us happier. There are multiple studies that have found a direct correlation between gratitude, happiness, and well-being. As I go over all the benefits of gratitude, I think you're going to see this connection to start becoming more and more clear. Another benefit of gratitude is increased self-esteem. Practicing gratitude reduces our call for comparing ourselves with others. Instead of becoming resentful of what others have that we don't, those who practice gratitude focus on all the blessings that they have, and they appreciate more their own accomplishments. They become more mindful and more present, and as a result, they see all their virtues, their strengths, their accomplishments, and they celebrate those. Gratitude also gives us hope and makes it more optimistic. Gratitude helps us to refocus on what we have instead of what we lack. When we practice gratitude on a regular basis, we start to change our perspective on things and situations around us, and we start to focus more on the positive aspects rather than the negatives. I like to call this people that practice gratitude, they see the glass half full versus half empty. When we express gratitude, we know that there's always going to be something to be grateful for, and that gives us hope. And when we are constantly focusing on seeing the good in the things around us, when we start seeing meaning on the things that happen around us, when we see things happening for us instead of to us as a result of practicing gratitude, we become more optimistic, more positive. Gratitude also helps us develop an abundance mindset. What is an abundance mindset anyway? Let's start by defining a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is the belief that there will never be enough, resulting in a feeling of fear, stress, and anxiety. On the other hand, an abundance mindset is a mindset that flows out of the deep inner sense of personal worth and security. It's grounded in the belief that there's more than enough for everyone. When we practice gratitude, we are focused on the blessings we have, and we tend to compare ourselves less with others. The more blessings that we see, the more we believe there are enough for everyone. Gratitude also helps us improve our relationships. Showing our gratitude to loved ones is a great way to make them feel good, makes us feel good, and make the relationship better in general. It's like a vicious circle, a good one. I read once a story of a couple who were struggling in their marriage. The husband decided to start a journal, and every day he would write down what he was grateful for about his wife. A year went by, and he gave that journal to his wife as a birthday gift. Not only the wife believed that it was the best gift that he had ever gave her, but this practice became a gift for him. As he started to be more mindful about all the things that his wife was doing for him and for their family, all the strengths that she had, all the virtues that she had, he started to look at his wife from a different perspective and falling in love with her over and over again. It's a lovely story. And I think it shows us that when we show gratitude, when we focus in finding gratitude on the people around us, not only when we express it helps the other person feel better, but it makes us feel good in return. And it certainly fuels a good and better relationship. Gratitude also enhances empathy. A study was conducted by the University of Kentucky on this topic. On this study, the participants who rank higher on the gratitude scale were less likely to retaliate against others, even when given negative feedback. They experience more sensitivity and empathy towards other people and a decreased desire to seek revenge. Another benefit of gratitude is that it reduces materialism. Those who are the most grateful also tend to be less materialistic. Likely because people who appreciate what they already have are less likely to get fixated on obtaining more of those who are grateful. And less materialistic people enjoy greater life satisfaction. So it all goes down to gratitude or practicing gratitude makes us happier. Gratitude also helps us find meaning in what we do. Gratitude is one factor that can help people find meaning in their jobs. Those who have meaning and purpose in their work are often more effective and more fulfilled throughout their career. It can also improve our physical health. There's been multiple studies conducted on the impact that gratitude has on our physical health. Some of them, but not limited to, may include reducing blood pressure or improving sleep, or also shorten recovery time of people that are sick or going through a procedure or kind of therapy. Hopefully, I've been able to make a case for gratitude. Hopefully, after listening to all those benefits, it inspires you to want to cultivate more gratitude in your life. Gratitude is a way for us to appreciate what we have instead of always reaching for something new in the hopes that it will make us happier, or thinking that we can be satisfied until every physical and material need is met. In other words, gratitude helps us to focus on what we have versus what we don't. So let's talk and explore some ways that you can start practicing gratitude every day. The first one is to write down the things that you're grateful for. I personally like to do this every morning as part of my morning routine. I write down the things that happened in the last 24 hours for which I'm grateful for. Most of the times, these are small things like having a good time playing with my kids, or enjoying a good cup of coffee or a good book, or having a date night with my husband. Writing down the things that happened in the last 24 hours helps me to be more mindful in the next 24 hours. I'm constantly looking for blessings. I'm more mindful of every moment in my life, and I focus on the things that are happening for me versus the things that are happening to me. The second way to practice gratitude is to keep a gratitude journal. Establish a daily practice in which you remind yourself of the gifts, the blessings, and all the good things that you enjoy. Recalling moments of gratitude associated with ordinary events, your personal attributes, or people that you value in your life gives you the potential to a sustainable theme of gratitude in your life. The third way is to share your gratitude with others. There's research that has found that expressing gratitude can strengthen relationships. We just talked about that a few minutes ago. So the next time your partner, your friend, a family member, a colleague of work, or a stranger does something that you appreciate, be sure to let them know. A great way to do this is to write a thank you note to someone. I've tried to get into the habit of every Friday, before I end my day, think about one person that I'm grateful for that week and send that person a little thank you note. It can be an email, a text, or sometimes just calling them and saying thank you. I find myself using the word thank you more and more often. And I do it truthfully. I really mean every thank you that I say. I've learned to appreciate the things that others do for me. I appreciate the things that people do, and I started to share that appreciation with them more often, which has strengthened my relationships, but also have made me more mindful, more empathetic, a better colleague, a better friend, I want to think. Another way to practice gratitude is to start gratitude rituals. Let me give you some examples. Saying grace before a meal. The dinner table is a great place to reflect and reinforce our feelings of gratitude and to share those with our loved ones. Try a new experience with your family and look for teachable moments, such as volunteering at a food bank or handling gifts at a children's hospital. Sometimes the best way to appreciate all the good things in our own world, in our own lives, is to take a moment to witness the situations of others who are not as fortunate as we are. When you find yourself complaining about something or you catch yourself thinking negatively, stop for 2 minutes and reflect on the things that you're grateful for about that moment. Make it a habit to compliment someone every day. I don't think it needs to say this, but you need to be authentic, of course. Force yourself to find someone to compliment for something that they've done or something that you admire about them. The more you practice this, the more easily it would become to find things to compliment others for. And finally, another example of a gratitude ritual is to create gratitude affirmations and make sure that you share them with others. You can post them in social media or share it with a friend, send it on a text, post it somewhere. Okay, the last way to practice gratitude. I'm sure there's many other ways, and I'm sure you can come up with creative ways to practice gratitude, but this is another idea. Create a gratitude journal for someone that you love. Just like in the story that I shared before, start writing down one thing that you're grateful for that person every day. Whether you decide to share it with that other person or not is up to you. But let me tell you this, as you become consistent with this practice, you're going to find yourself showing your appreciation for that person more and more often, with words, but most importantly, with your actions. Before I wrap up today's episode, just one more thing that I want to bring up. The last thing is, what's your language? Grateful people don't focus on how inherently good they are, but rather on the inherently good things that others have done on your behalf. And this is really apparent in the way that people talk and express. What's your language? Count how many times you say thank you to someone throughout your day. How many times you were grateful, but you didn't say anything. How many times will you focus on what you did versus what others did? These are just some ways to practice gratitude, but I'm sure that you can come up with many other ways that you can introduce gratitude into your life. My point today is there's always something to be grateful for, even in the most challenging times. 2020 has really put that to a test. It has been a challenging year. There's no doubt about it. We all have been stressed and anxious, and we've been taken out of our norm. We've felt that something is missing, that something has been taken. But still, there's many of us that have been able to find gratitude every day in our lives, despite how challenging the year has been. There are people that are going through more challenging times that you are right now, and they still are able to find gratitude every single day. I have to say that for me, practicing gratitude over the last 37 weeks of this pandemic has helped me stay sane, has helped me focus on seeing the glass half full, has helped me to appreciate more the little moments, to be more mindful and more present in the things that are happening around me. Gratitude has allowed me to feel that 2020 has been a really good year, and it really has. And when I try to count all the blessings that I'm grateful for this year, I can fill out pages and pages in my notebook. Why? Because I've been intentional about finding those things that I'm grateful for. And I'm sure that you sit down with a piece of paper and you start writing down all the blessings that you've had this year in your life, you'll come up with a list that will make your heart feel full. I hope you liked today's episode. I hope it inspired you to want to start cultivating more gratitude in your life. If you like today's episode, as always, I'm going to ask you to show your gratitude by going to iTunes and leave me a review. While you're there, don't forget to follow so you can get notifications every time there are new episodes posted. And make sure that you share this episode with someone that you think can benefit from today's content. With that, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you here again for another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast.